Hi everyone. This is Aries for January 2024. I can't believe I'm saying that. So I'm Susie. This is your reading. It's Astro-Tarot. So I'm an astrologer, trauma-informed astrologer, and a metaphysical practitioner. So we're going to go over what January and February might look for you as an Aries, Aries placements, first house placements, and if you have Mars ruling your ascendant or near your ascendant. I just, we are looking at January. It's crazy. Um, yeah, I mean, this is kind of part of December, but really whatever's left of December, but really we're looking into January here. Aries, what are you done with? Uh, Not so shabby for Aries. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we're going to start with these four cards. Then we're going to start clarifying. I do a weekend hangout where I kind of go through six of the signs, get the energies, six of the houses, six of the signs. And that's on the weekend. But these are the deeper readings where we kind of clarify cards and get into the nitty-gritty. Okay, so the first two things came out, I was like, no, can I please shuffle the cards and put them back in and then reshuffle and then we have the Empress. And this is beautiful. This is a Chiara Marchetti, right? She's a beautiful, this is a lot about divine feminine power. You may have felt the need to be in your masculine power, but you may have there's two things going on here, Aries placements. You may feel the need to have done all the stuff. You may be struggling to get into the place of receiving, basically, and letting things come to you, like creating a space and letting things come into the space rather than voraciously having to go get the things, secure the things. If we want to talk about like divine feminine power or divine power, we are talking about the creation of things. We are talking about the understanding, the knowing, and the power to sit back and let things come to you. That's a hard energy for anyone. And I don't think in any generation or at any time, there are those that argue incorrectly, in my humble opinion, that right now women are not in their feminine power because they're having careers and they're aggressive and they curse and they're living independently. When we're talking about power and being overpowered and empowered, we've never seen women be more empowered right now. And even though this is a gender fluid reading, we have all signs here, right? In that card. And in its reverse, it's telling us, it's asking you, in what way have you been a little less creative, a little less sitting in the knowing, a little less receiving, a little bit more either giving or making sure it happens, right? Because we can't say 50 years ago or 100 years ago women were in any kind, they were being overpowered, they weren't empowered. There's this balance here, trying to find, and the Empress just knows, she knows stuff. You might have been putting your feelings aside, putting your knowings aside, putting your expectations aside. You may be somebody who's new into your awakening and kind of conflating the idea of the knowing with the expectation. It's a big thing, right? When we first get into even delving into any of this, right? We find our favorite readers. We go, oh my God, I can't believe how they're getting that right. And they are. People are channeling, picking up energy. That's all real. And then we start to hear things and begin to put expectation on what happens next. And maybe sometimes sitting back and having full expectation that that is going to happen to you. And having then we get to the place where we know ourselves, we can feel it coming in. We see all the signs, we're channeling somebody else's energy. We're able to, by clairsentient, claircognizant, clairvoyance, clairaudience, we're able to like get in things, and we know that we have the knowing. But what we know somebody is in the 5D energy of, and what somebody is right this minute 3D capable of, can be two different things, right? You get to that third phase where you kind of start to have spiritual awakening, upgrading, not just of your gifts, but of the understanding that what we're really channeling is someone's 5D energy. Our 5D self is kicking with their 5D self and getting that energy, getting that vibe, and letting go of the expectation. I think that this Empress upside down is a very good signal that where you're at is right on the precipice, right on the cusp of that place where we decompress and we understand that the knowing isn't the guarantee. We stop putting waiting energy on things. And I think that you're in a crux in between these two periods of time. I think that right now you might be in that, have those defenses around you, by like, well, it's not going to happen anyway, or I can't think about what I know, I can't think about what I feel, I just have to get done what I have to get done, and I'm not going to expect anything anymore. And I really feel like this is big for you, Aries. This is because you are a very feeling sign. You are a very passionate sign. You absolutely have the woodgie. You know what I mean? You have the gifts. You have all of that. But wanting to take action to what you feel, what you know, what you hear, what you see is a very innate thing. And I think after maybe taking action and not having it go the way you thought, or what have you, you're now in this stage. Like, I know, but what does knowing get me? I'm just going to go out, get what I have to get, be a little bit more pragmatic about things, go after things that are possible for me to, bring back with me, and not waste my time. The lot that came in from that one card. Next to it was the Ten of Swords. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. The Empress upside down and the Ten of Swords. This Ten of Swords is very interesting. This Ten of Swords, we're so close to done. We are so close to done. What have you taken on? Think about the suit of swords, right? The first is an epiphany, and the second is a decision, and the third is heartbreak, and the fourth is rest, and the fifth is inner conflict, like ready to battle, let's go. That sixth is then leaving those choppy waters for smoother waters. Seven is putting trust in somebody again and having them take from you. It's a very tumultuous suit, right? 8 is anxiety and 9 is I'm up all night. This is when you're just done with that whole journey of learning through pain. And I think that's why you're like, not doing any of that stuff. I'm not putting expectation in anything. I could know it, but I'm not even gonna try to have it. I think that you are done Like, I don't need any more lessons, and things don't have to be painful. You know, again, Aries, whoever, and first house placements, Mars ruling or near the ascendant, whoever I'm reading for right now, there's a lot of spiritual upgrade. There's a lot of like peaks, and now we're at like a plateau. I don't want to say it's a peak in a valley. It's not. It's like a plateau. It's like you went into the spiritual journey with this giant toolbox, right? And I love a varied toolbox with all different kinds of tools. It's like you went into this journey with, you know, all these different tools, and those tools don't serve you anymore. And you've been shedding and you've been shedding, and now through a series of experiences, you're now with these new tools. It doesn't have to be painful for us to learn. That's one of the upgrades that we get. The minute we realize we can heal things, the minute we realize we have gifts, the minute we realize we can connect into source or connect into somebody else that's connected to source, we get, what is, it's my little furry pillow. We get really excited about all of this, and then it's like, well, you know, I took this long to realize I could heal stuff. I took this long to realize that the way that I take on partners is due to that childhood experience that, you know, makes me have my defenses up, or you know, the unhealed version of me was attracting in people. Now I want the healed version of me to attract in my next partner. And so there becomes again this veracity, this uh this hunger to get it all done. And I've actually had discussions within my chat, in my community, with people going, I wish I could do it all at once. And I said that when I began that second awakening, because the first one I was young and I just shut it. I was like, nope, don't want any of this. This is scary. Bye bye. And so when it came back full throttle, it never really went away. But when it came back full throttle, I remember saying, like, I just want to heal it all at once, not knowing what I was asking for. If anyone's going to do that, it's Aries energy. You may have said, just bring it all on, just bring it. And then we get to this point, this upgraded journey, part within our journey, because that journey doesn't end, right, until we transition. We get to this part of our journey where we're like, okay, maybe I don't need to learn everything at once. Maybe I can learning to accept things as they are and not try to get to this goal of all healed. And saying that, like, I'm going to learn now without saying just bring it on. I can take it. I'm an Aries. I'm brave. You know, my sign is ruled by Mars. You know, I'm forged in fire. I think you've had enough. I know this is the 9 of Swords and not the 4 of Swords, but this Empress upside down feels like you took a rest, not from the spiritual stuff, but from the advantageous. You know, I have to say, listen, it did well. Bless him, go get your bag. But that shadow journal a little bit made me crazy, just because it's a great idea, but because it was being, you know, sold by a gazillion different people that didn't really understand, that maybe didn't understand shadow work. It was asking you to daily and voraciously, kind of like this reading, go after everything that's dark and that needs to be unfolded. After a while, your spirits are just going to give you a full stop. Whether they actually give you that like 4 of Swords, guess what, you have to slow down, so now you're off your feet for a little bit, or not taking you out of your relationships, but having everything get quiet for a while, for you, because you know, the brain will do what the brain has to do to keep the rest of us safe. I feel like at some point, the expectation, the voracious love of shadow work, of healing, the in the quest to be the ultimate empress, right? Um, which is so so Aries, so fire sign, right? But in there was this constant, I can take it. I'm strong. Just let's get it over with. I think we're taking a break from that. What's amazing is we finish up this reading. Once you decide, you know, do you really want to hurt me? No, I don't. I do not want to hurt myself any longer to try to get all of this healing over with, all of this spiritual journey over with. It can take its time. I can take my time. I'm still going to be great just as I am tomorrow. And it doesn't have to hurt to heal. Um, we can go a little slower. The second you give that kindness to yourself, we have the Magician and we have the Four of Wands, or beautiful fire card. Beautiful. When we have the Four of Wands, we have the divine 1111 card. We have a very special connection coming in. This is something you wanted. This is something you asked for. I think that at some point you thought you had to get perfect for this to come in, right? Like you had to do all of your healing, do all of your journey to manifest this in. We're all still healing, and we no one has to go looking for shadow work. Shadow work will find you. Trust. Um, whoever your person is, whoever your soulmate is, they're still going to be working on their journey. The idea that you thought you had to be perfect and what that might have felt like energetically to somebody you're trying to bring in could have been off-putting. Not in your personality, not in your approach, not in your warmth, not in your inviting energy, not in your passion, certainly not, Aries, but in an energetic way, right? The minute you put down the energy of like, I love to feel pain, so I know that I am alive and I am healing. Um, the minute we put that down, look what can come. It's the thing that we've been manifesting for so long. Okay. Do we need to clarify? I mean, we can, right? I will. Let's clarify. Let's clarify with the steampunk. I want to clarify the Four Wands. And then for extended readings, that's for my membership. I have 3 levels of membership. The first one's $3 and you get all 12 extended. If you want to know anything else about that, it's all in the place where you find all that stuff, in the box and the link in the description, whatever. And I do personal readings, lots of them. And that you can find that all. Also, I have a flash sale starting tomorrow. Tomorrow. But anyway, everything is on the website. Person maybe already be in your life, and you're Aries. I mean, I have an Aries moon. I have a Venus in Leo. I really like that. Set your socks on fire. I'm trying to be a little PG here. I don't know why. Um, I like that. Can't keep your hands off each other, even when it's not appropriate to have your hands on each other, up against the wall, kind of. Just so impassioned, so crazy about each other, right? Till you're 80 chasing each other around the kitchen. Sometimes we meet people and they're really, really nice and there's all this stuff. We're not feeling that. We're not feeling the Zaza zoo. We're not feeling the up against the wall. We're not feeling the chase each other around the kitchen. And if you have fire sign placements, especially if your moon or Venus are in fire signs, Aries, you might be like, that is not for me. That will not keep my interest. They could be the smartest, most lovely, giving person that thinks you're the best thing since sliced bread, but you're gonna need a little of that Zaza zoo. I think this person in your life, we have a page of wands here, maybe a little shy. They may not be an overtly sexual person, right? They may not be like just walk into a room and you go, "Oh yeah, that's my next mistake," kinda, right? They may not you might think that like, "Oh my god, they're probably so homogenized in every single way. That is not for me." Um, I think this is a person in the street and a you know what, and a freak in the sheet. Um, I I think that this is not somebody on your radar. I think that you think, no, like, well, it could. You have good conversations and you're like, that would be nice. But like in the back of your head, you're like, but would that be settling? And then what happens when somebody comes along and curls my toes and I have to be a jerk to that person who's so nice? I think it's run through your mind, but just for a second and not really seriously. I mean, right? And if you've ever done that, if you've ever had like the Jessica Rabbit or the bad boy, and they broke your heart, and then so the next time you're like, I'm gonna go for the good on paper. I'm gonna go for the old reliable. And the problem is as much as you want to be like complete, you can have feelings and you can have love for them, but as much as you want to be like madly in love, you can't be. And then we end up hurting that person. Listen, we have the Eight of Wands and the Page of Wands. The communication's gonna come in, and it doesn't mean obviously you're not getting married in January. I mean, maybe you're crazy and you'll go run to Vegas, but I think what's gonna happen is this divine connection is gonna show up. And I think maybe in the beginning, it's just gonna be a lot of conversation, Aries. Be a lot of conversation and a lot of stuff that you're like, "Oh, oh." Um, because this conversation is like bam, 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 like, so message, message, message. They might be a little spammy, and it might be almost a little bit of a turn off. Um, there's just I'm telling you, but it's again, it's, I'm vanilla baby. The thing is I think they will also choke you. If you know the song, you know. Um not in a bad way. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles. This is somebody, okay, Aries. This is somebody who knows who they are and they don't need to walk around telling you how bad they are. They're going to come off a little shy. They're not going to, that's funny. They're It's not like you're gonna meet them and they're gonna be talking and be like, "Oh, women love me because, or men love me because I do A, B, and C better than anyone else." They're not gonna talk about that stuff. They're gonna come off almost homogenous is the word I keep getting. Vanilla. But listen, if vanilla's your flavor, then I apologize. Um, keep hearing that song now. I'm vanilla baby. Shook you, but I ain't a killer baby. 28 telling me I'm still a baby. Like, that's the thing, is like, you're gonna be like, oh, you're so sweet, but I just don't. Yeah, Ace of Cups. Aries, January is gonna be juicy for you. And then next winter, we have Mars retrograde in Leo. It's going to be really interesting. I'm trying to think. I mean, Aries, you're going to have those eclipses in your sign in the spring. This is universe. This is universe bringing you some kind of offer. I think this person doesn't go around and brag. And, earmuffs if you're sensitive to this kind of thing. But, if you've ever met a bragger, um, if you've ever met a bragger, sometimes at the end of the day, that's not all that in a bag of chips. And I feel like this person does not feel the need to brag. This is very interesting for you, Aries. All right, let's clarify this, Magician. Is this what you've been asking for? Is this, let's ask, is this who you've been asking for? I feel like, I have said this, and I have a TikTok video. My gosh, it's got to be over 3 years old now. And what it says is, if you keep trying to manifest a person and they're not able to meet you where you're at for a million reasons, because they're not ready, but you keep manifesting them because they're great and and that you love them, and there's, there could be a bazillion reasons, and it's just not, the timing is bad. Stop manifesting that person and manifest the love that you deserve, because if that person is meant for you, they'll still come in, right? But it's very important to always manifest the love that we want, what we desire deeply. There was a Cancer full moon. So for a lot of Aries, that's squaring your placements. And that is about the subconscious, the desires. What do we really emotionally want that maybe we're not saying? And it's time to say it. And it's time to, so, really key in, really sit and marinate. What do I want? Yes, would it be great if it came in that package with that person? So let's ask, is this who you want or what you want? That's a good question, right? Let's just get a hint towards that, and then maybe we'll look into that in the extended reading. Okay. Is it who you want? The Four of Pentacles, and it's upside down. Now, I like this. I think somewhere when you see everything is for a reason. Let me tell you something. Because all this for you, stop that. All of this for you, I love so, so much for you. Not mad at the Magician either. Then I asked, is it the who or is it the what? Four of Pentacles in reverse. Let me explain something to you right now. When you stopped expecting people to be what you were trying to bring them to be, whatever, when you stopped saying like, okay, fine, I can know it, but I'm not going to sit there in the knowing and then expect their 3D version of them to show up. Like, can I feel them thinking about me all the time? Yep. And then sitting there waiting for the phone to ring. You're not doing that anymore, right? You've decided I don't have to keep torturing myself to to get the healing, to get the journey over with quick. Like, that's not what it's about. When you started to do that, I love the Four of Pentacles in reverse. The Four of Pentacles in the upright is like, all I need is this matches and this belt and this chair, and that's all I need. Seen from the Jerk, right? It's the idea that you can't move forward without these things. I want to grow and I want to be on this journey. And I want to have all these other things, but I don't want to do any of that or move on or have the love I deserve without this person, without this where I live, without the way I look. I'll get all of that when I lose weight. Whatever the case may be, you let go of all those attachments. This got you here, which the second you let go of the idea that it had to be some big thing, this struggle, so that it would be worth the happy ending, you're actually, the happy ending is coming in. I can't wait to look more into like, who is this and is it the same person for some of you? Ooh, that'll be in the extended reading, Aries. Thank you again. Sale starts, it'll be tomorrow by the time this airs. Yep, all my links are, there's a QR floating over my head or something at some point. But yeah, all my links are in the description. And I love you. Now you love you. And hopefully I'll see you this weekend. Right. Bye. Oh, and there's a holiday party. Check that out too. All right. Bye.